Camden server, Moss objects, but then there might be a DC one. If DC did the edit, there might be a New York one. It just kind of shows you where the video is pointing to.
And it's only one step for the time, right? Because now we have to actually make a correction from 2:30 to what the real time is.
Oh, correct. Yeah, it auto-populates here, which I find actually kind of helpful because if you're dumb school like me, I often have like an in and out that I forget about. Oops, I only exported 3 seconds of video. At least here I can see, oh, it's 2:48. All right. So basically, and we'll get to thumbnails in a bit, but basically our edit, we're almost ready to just publish a video, right? We have the video in there. The script was gussied up. I'll have to pretend we did the full shot list and storyline. The one step before we're ready to transmit is just hitting this final approval button. So I don't know what your approval process is. The supervisor's looked at the script. It's been sub-edited, whatever. I'm going to hit final approval on this. And it'll take a moment.
You can do that before you put a story number on it?
The story number gets generated.
Oh, auto-generated?
By hitting the final approval. Okay. And I had to hit refresh, but it should auto-generate for you within a few
Well, my
seconds.
question then is, how do you get the story number on the slate which precedes this process?
Don't know. I think that's a question we'll have to look into.
And also, can you still refresh by just doing Control-R?
I would assume so. I don't know. Okay. I want to give one other real quick example. Let's see. For a story, I haven't filled out everything in this story up here, US Test 2. What happens if I try to hit final approval for that now? Notice that there's a column here called filing errors. So if you've done anything wrong in the process, it will catch your errors and tell you what you've done wrong. In this instance, I'm missing a headline, I'm missing story format, I'm missing a bunch of columns. The one thing to note, it won't catch you, at least not right now, it won't catch you if you forget to put a video in, which we've had that happen once or twice. But all the other elements of the slug, it'll catch you and let you know before it gives you a story number, and it won't publish your video until you have a story number.
You said that if you don't insert video, it won't catch it as of right now?
I believe not yet. So if I were to fill out, so it's telling me right now I'm missing a headline, missing location, missing date, and missing story format. So why don't I go fill that out real quick?
Well, what? Okay.
Oops. Let's see what happens now when I try to approve it. Alright, so it gave me a story number even though I don't have a video in there. Just something to be aware of, okay?
Will that be fixed, or is that just because?
I think it's a known issue that will be fixed at some point.
Does it still publish the script portion of it?
I don't think anything goes out, because it needs a video in order to start the transcoding process in the first place. All right. So now I'm at the point where, in the old days, you would call up DigView, and you would have to check a bunch of boxes, and you'd have to copy and paste and everything, and there would be a lot of room for error. The nice thing about this process is all I'm going to do now is just open up my transmission rundown. And I'm working on tomorrow's rundown, so I'm going to open up the transmission rundown for tomorrow. There we go. One thing also in DC, we had to add a little blue line here, because when you first open up the transmission rundown for the first thing at night on the overnight shift or whenever you start your day, there is the opportunity that someone might come along and drag it below the black line. If you know ENPS from yesteryear, you realize that everything needs to be above the black line. So what I'm going to do to deliver this video is simply drag and drop above the black line. It's not quite published yet. Gives you one last chance to kind of look everything over, make sure I don't have a spelling error in the headline, and then I'm going to hit final approval. I'm not going to do it right now because these rundowns are active, but I would hit final approval and this would turn green.
So just to summarize, we do things obviously for satellite and IP transmission for television clients, but um, when we take a video, now we want to do an online version, we're just really essentially making a copy of what we ran for television clients and then repopulating the caption and headline fields.
Yeah, the one thing to note about ENPS filing, and I'm going to give you an example of, let's look at today's news rundown. If I can find it, this is it's to be a little bit of a mess, but this one will be fine. It may take a minute to open. But notice in our world, at least for news, we have, here we have Colorado Trial Friends, NR, Colorado Trial Friends, CR. So for every edit that we're doing, one thing you could do in or in, at least in our world before, is we could have one slug, and we would have the script info for our online edit, we'd have the script info for our newsroom ready edit, we wouldn't have to worry about the Moss objects. At least for our world, you only get, there has to be one independent slug for each version you're doing. Does that make sense? So only one Moss object per slug, only one script per slug. Make sense?
And it's all in the production um, rundown, as opposed to now where it's an online or it's a 2000G or 0G, etc.
Exactly, exactly. So everything will be done in the production rundown. This is basically the same edit. Maybe one has chirons on it, one doesn't. But we need to have separate slugs for the newsroom ready one and the CR ready one. Okay?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Say I wanted to grab an item from another rundown from another department. Do I have to create a new Moss object? Because now that's what you have to do. You can't grab a Moss object, say, from London or...
Yeah, I mean, I think the nice thing about this is if I have this US test, and we filed it for APPUS, and maybe I should have picked a better, more real-world example. Let's say it's US Obama economy or something. We've done an edit on Obama talking about, or a US Obama Iran deal. Something London's definitely going to want for their news feed. In an ideal world, once we get to, the future of ENPS filing, okay, London calls, they want this edit. I simply open up their production items rundown and just drag it over into their production items rundown. And because a lot of these columns are exactly the same as what London has, it'll line up, and it doesn't matter if that video points to the New York server, the DC server, or the Camden server. When they transmit it, it'll reach over into that server and file the video to MediaPort.
Okay. So now if we take a news story similar to this, we have to put a different story number on it. You're saying we won't have to do that in the future? We can just...
I believe that once you publish that video and you have a unique story ID on it, that story ID will be the same for every place that you publish that video. So when it gets dragged over into London, it'll have the same story number. If Horizons has done a video and has a story